On the day I returned from a 5-year classified mission, I discovered my 6-year-old son, Ethan, chained like a stray dog, scavenging for scraps in the dirt. My husband's family, fawning over his lover's newborn, sneered at my boy as a family curse. In that moment, I vowed to dismantle their world and reclaim mine, piece by shattered piece. Dragging my suitcase up the winding driveway to our grand estate in Westport, Connecticut, I felt my pulse race. 5 years abroad on a top-secret government project had demanded total isolation, no calls, no messages. I'd left behind my 1-year-old son, trusting my husband, David, to care for him. Now Ethan was 6. I pictured his bright eyes, his laughter. I'd notified David and my mother-in-law, Margaret, of my arrival a week ago, but no one met me at the airport. The house loomed silent, the front door ajar. Pushing it open, I expected joy. Instead, Margaret's syrupy voice drifted from the living room. "Our precious little heir, our lucky charm. Since you arrived, Daddy's deals have skyrocketed." My heart stuttered. "Precious? Daddy?" I stepped inside. David, heavier and smugger than I remembered, sat beside a stunning young woman, beaming at her in a way he'd never looked at me. Margaret cradled a swaddled infant in lavish blankets. They hadn't noticed me yet. A faint bark and chain rattle echoed from the backyard. Dread gripped me. I slipped past them to the glass doors overlooking the garden I'd once tended with lilac bushes. Under a willow tree hunched a skeletal, naked boy on all fours, wrestling a Rottweiler for food scraps. Margaret stepped out with the baby, chuckling coldly. She kicked a scrap toward him. "Eat, you wretched pest. Useless burden." The boy looked up, wild, terrified eyes. It was Ethan, my son. My suitcase thudded down. The room spun. They whirled toward me. "Emily?" Margaret stammered, shock twisting to fury. David and the woman sprang apart. But my focus locked on Ethan. "Ethan! Mommy's here!" I screamed, bolting outside. He shrieked like a beast, retreating into a grimy dog kennel, clutching a bone, growling. He didn't know me. 5 years of guilt crashed over me. I dreamed of his embrace, but he saw an enemy. The woman Lisa, I learned, sneered. The long-lost wife. "Our little prince is a delight, isn't he? Low maintenance. Prince." The word stung. Rage ignited. I faced David. "What have you done to our son?" He averted his eyes, tossing papers at me, divorce filings and a declaration of my legal absence. "Sign. You're gone 5 years, no contact. You're missing." Margaret sneered. "No place here for your cursed spawn. A seer said he's blocking our prosperity. Treat him like the animal he is, and fortune flows." Lisa brought our blessing. Superstition? In the 21st century? I'd sacrificed for my country, and this was my reward, my son tortured in my own home, funded by my inheritance? David spat. "This house, the firm, it's mine now. Take scraps and leave." Laughter bubbled from me, cold, unhinged. They stared like I was mad. "David, you've forgotten. This estate and 60% of Apex Builders are my parents' legacy. You were just the stand-in CEO with power of attorney. I'm back, it's all mine." Their faces paled. Margaret shrieked about David's hard work and her true heir. I paused, eyes on David. "Remember our fertility tests 6 years ago? Yours showed azoospermia, near zero chance of fathering a child. A miracle, doctor said." I glanced at the baby, then Lisa. Quite the quick miracle in my absence. Silence choked the room. The baby's cries pierced it. Ignoring their horror, I unlocked Ethan's chain with keys Lisa tossed, wrapped him in my coat, and fled to the car amid Margaret's howls. I sped to the city's top hospital, bursting into emergency. "Save my son." Doctors swarmed, aghast. Ethan weighed 24 pounds, severe malnutrition for a 6-year-old. His voice box was scarred from barking imitations. Joints deformed from crawling. Worst, layered cigarette burns across his body. The chief doctor, furious, slammed the desk. "This is criminal abuse. Report it now, these files are evidence." But I hesitated. Rushing to police without proof? They'd hide assets, hire slick lawyers, paint me as the absentee mother. I photographed the records, secured a VIP room with guards, then called my family's lawyer, Mr. Hayes, my father's confidant. Freeze David Evans' assets. Bring all estate originals. Half an hour later, Hayes arrived, eyes widening at Ethan. My God, Emily, what happened? We raced back to the estate. David, Margaret, and Lisa argued heatedly. Margaret feigned tears. Emily, dear, I was confused. It was Lisa's influence. Jacob's just naughty. I was disciplining him. With chains and burns? I snarled, playing my secret recording. Margaret's voice snarling, eat, monster. The seer said treat him like a dog to lift the curse. Silence. Margaret exploded. Yes. He's the jinx ruining us. Since Lisa's baby, business booms. He's the curse. You both should have vanished. Hayes laid out documents. Ownership's Emily's. Vacate in 24 hours or face embezzlement charges. David's greed flared. I built this. Give me the vault key, split the contents, and I'll go. The vault? My mother's heirloom locket held its key, a keepsake. Lisa whispered into her phone. Ron, hurry, trouble. Minutes later, the door burst open. A scarred, tattooed thug, Ron, Lisa's brother, strode in with goons. Sis? What's up? Twist. Not just an affair, a criminal plot. David commanded, get her key. Ron brandished a knife. Hand it over, or I carve that pretty face. Hayes dialed 911 discreetly. Ron lunged. I shoved him, grabbing a garden trowel from the entry. Crack, I struck his back. He collapsed. Chaos erupted. David's goons charged. He choked me for the locket. It's mine. Sirens wailed. Police stormed in, freeze. They cuffed everyone. Amid arrests, I demanded the vault opened. No riches inside, just originals proving my ownership and a USB drive with David's old voicemail. Emily, I'll guard your parents' legacy with my life. At the station, I detailed everything. Detectives gathered neighbor statements, saw the kid chained in rain, eating dirt, thought he was feral. Heard whimpers like a beaten dog. A fired maid confessed. Margaret locked him in closets, fed scraps. Lisa said, beat the curse out, kill him if needed. Ron did the violence. I fled in fear. Forensics raided the house. Whip with Ethan's blood, tin of cigarette butts, including a knocked-out tooth. Financial audit revealed David's fraud. Shell companies siphoned millions. $6 million loan shark debt from Ron's crew, collateralized on Apex. Twist deepened. I demanded DNA on the air. Lisa cracked. The baby's not David's, some exes. I lied for security. Results confirmed no relation. Margaret, hearing it, shrieked into madness. My treasure. Switched. She collapsed foaming, institutionalized. David begged a deal. Drop charges. I'll vanish. You take the debt for my management. I refused. Rot in prison. Trial. Evidence overwhelmed. Ron, 12 years. Lisa, 15 years. Margaret, 18 years, despite insanity plea. David, life for fraud, abuse, complicity. Shareholders exposed more forgeries, sealing his fate. I sold the estate, tainted memories for debt payoff. No fortune left, but freedom. We moved to a cozy apartment. I translated remotely. Ethan's recovery, gained weight, relearned walking, spoke haltingly. Nightmares lingered, but therapy helped. Drawings shifted from red-hot wounds to warm suns. Years on, at 9, Ethan gifted a sketch, us holding hands under a red sun. Warm, mama, like you. Scars faded, love endured. I'd lost wealth, but gained everything, peace under our sun.